Welcome back to Learning English with Captain Binoy Varakil, Assistant Professor, Department of English, St. Joseph's College, Devgiri, Calicut, Kerala. We are discussing the cardinal vowels and we are right now in the second part of the lecture on cardinal vowels. In the first part of the lecture, we discussed the primary cardinal vowels. Now we are moving forward to the discussion of the secondary cardinal vowels. We know that cardinal vowels are just fixed, imaginary, unchanging reference points to understand the location of the vowels in the mouth cavity. And we learned about the primary cardinal vowels. We know that there are 8 primary cardinal vowels. Cardinal vowel number 1 to 4 are articulated with the front of the tongue. Cardinal vowels 5, 6, 7 and 8 are articulated with the back of the tongue. And cardinal vowel number 1 is articulated with maximum fronting of the tongue and maximum closeness to the roof of the mouth. And we know that cardinal vowel number 5 is articulated with maximum back of the tongue, and of course it is articulated at the lowest position, open position in the mouth cavity. And cardinal vowel number 8 is articulated with, of course, back of the tongue, extreme height in the oral cavity, mouth cavity. And we have the primary cardinal vowels. Summarizing, primary cardinal vowels 1 to 5 are unrounded and 6, 7 and 8 are rounded. Now we are looking at the secondary cardinal vowels. Alright, so we learned the secondary cardinal vowels with the help of the same diagram. Slight twisting and changing of the very concept of the primary cardinal vowels will help us understand the secondary cardinal vowels. Okay, so we have the primary cardinal vowels here. Same chart, we are locating the secondary cardinal vowels. So, primary cardinal vowels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are unrounded. And if primary cardinal vowel number 1, which is unrounded, can be articulated with rounding of the lips, that is cardinal vowel number 9. Cardinal vowel number 1 is unrounded. If cardinal vowel number 1, which is maximum fronting, maximum closeness, okay, unrounded, is articulated with rounded lips, that is cardinal vowel number 9. And we would be saying it, okay, this way. This is secondary cardinal vowel, alright, secondary cardinal vowel number, that is of course cardinal vowel number 9, alright. It is articulated with the rounding of the lips and you would say E, alright. It is easy to understand. And in some languages there could be such a sound which is articulated, the E articulated with rounding of the lips. Such an E, maximum fronting, maximum height and rounding of the lips is cardinal vowel number 9. And cardinal vowel number 10 is articulated with the front of the tongue, again half closed position, okay, with rounding, and it would be the 10th cardinal vowel or the secondary cardinal vowel, and it is articulated something like rounding of the lips like E. Alright, and the third or the 11th cardinal vowel, which is the third secondary cardinal vowel, articulated with, of course, the front of the tongue at half open position and rounding of the lips is something like alright, rounding, alright, that is important. So cardinal vowels 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13 are articulated secondary cardinal vowels, alright, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 11 we have seen right now. And we come to the 12th one, which is of course rounded, and we say that sound with rounded lips like front of the tongue at the open position, rounded lips. And now we come to cardinal vowel number 13, that is of course secondary cardinal vowel, and it is again rounded back of the tongue, open position, rounded, and we say again, rounded. Okay, and now we come to, of course, cardinal vowels 14, 15, and 16. All right, they are in fact unrounded. All right, and that is of course cardinal vowel number 14. It is of course unrounded, and we have to say the sound with spread lips, right? No rounding, and you would say it like this, right? Cardinal vowel number 14, which is of course unrounded, and you would say like and cardinal vowel number 15, again unrounded, and you would say with back of the tongue, half closed position, you would say no rounding of the lips. That's it, right? Now we come to, of course, cardinal vowel number 16, again with the back of the tongue, no rounding, of course closed position, and it will be something like all right, so that is cardinal vowel number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And now we have, of course, the last two cardinal vowels, that is, of course, secondary cardinal vowels 17 and 18. If any vowel is articulated with, of course, the tongue, that is, of course, the center of the tongue at maximum height between cardinal vowel number 1 and cardinal vowel number 8, right? Cardinal vowel number 1 and cardinal vowel number 8. That could be cardinal vowel number 17 and cardinal vowel number 18. Cardinal vowel number 17 and 18. Okay, so with this we just come to the end of our discussion and understanding of the cardinal vowels. And let us just summarize everything. Cardinal vowels are the reference points in the mouth cavity. They are not real cardinal vowels, right? They are hypothetical, imaginary, unchanging, fixed points in the mouth cavity to understand the position of the vowels of the languages of the world, right? So phoneticians wants to locate the vowel sounds of the languages of the world in the oral cavity to, of course, help the learners articulate the vowel sounds in the right way. And of course we have the cardinal vowels. The concept is just suggested by A.M. Bell, later of course refined and polished by Daniel Johns. And of course we have the cardinal vowel chart that shows the tongue positions, like the front of the tongue is used for articulation, the back of the tongue is used, the center of the tongue is used, maximum height of the tongue, right? Tongue at the extreme bottom in the mouth cavity. Alright, we have 8 primary cardinal vowels and 10 secondary cardinal vowels. Altogether 18 cardinal vowels. Cardinal vowels 1 to 5 articulated with unrounded lip position. Cardinal vowels 6, 7 and 8 rounded lip position. Okay, secondary cardinal vowels, right, 9 to of course 13 articulated with rounded lips, and 16, 17 and 18, alright, rounded, unrounded. Okay, so this way we sum up the cardinal vowels, and of course next lecture we will just go into the details of the discussion of the description and classifications of the vowels of received pronunciation, that is of course the English language. Thank you so much for listening. May God bless you all.